you're joining us live, thank you for making the time. And if you are potentially watching this later, you're just as welcome also. All right. We are off to a good start. There's no African time. We are going to kick off now. My own name is Tobi Adekunle, and I will be your host and moderator for today's session, Purpose and Profession, the 2026 Game Plan. And we are going to be looking at how to build meaning and grow with clarity. I'll be honest with you, the fact that you are here already says something about you, to be honest. It says that you're not just interested in doing more in 2026. You are interested in doing what really matters and what matters to your growth. You might be wondering, why are we doing this? Why do we decide to do a webinar that speaks to what we are currently talking about? Right? So this session was born out of a very simple but uncomfortable question. Why do so many people, so many capable, successful people, we've heard about people who are successful and at some point in their life committed suicide, some feel stuck, some still feel like they are misaligned, some feel like they don't know what they're doing. So the thing is, many of us, we are busy. Some of us are even successful, we have money, we have whatever it takes. But deep down, there's this quiet tension between what we do and why we do it. And that tension is exactly what this session is about. Filling that gap, regardless of what it is you are currently doing. All right. Sorry, I hope I'm not moving too fast. So the question is, who are we? Just to talk about the Purpose and Profession platform or initiative itself. Who are we? Purpose and Profession is the platform and the community that is built around one core belief. And the belief is simple. You don't have to choose between meaning and excellence. You can build a fulfilling life and still excel, at your profession in terms of what you do. So we explore the intersection of your calling, your career, your faith, your values, and your work. We help you to understand why growth is sustainable and not performative. So through conversations, our social media posts, reflections, practical tools, we also have some materials that we'll be putting on our website, purposeandprofession.com, later on, where we help professionals pause, recalibrate, and move forward in life with intention and not, pressure. That is who we are. So if you want to read more about us, you can visit www.purposeandprofession.com. Thank you. Who are the people behind what we're currently doing? We have John Ogosa as our founder, convener, and we have co-laborers, myself and Promise, as the co-founder of the Purpose and Profession platform or community, as the case may be. So I really do not want to take too much of our time, right? So our speaker is going to talk for about 40 to 45 minutes, then we'll have time for question and answer. So if you have questions, even while the conversation or the speaker is currently still speaking, you can drop it in the chat. If you have comments, you can drop it in the chat. I will also advise that we mute if we are not asking questions or we are not speaking, so that we also maintain some level of decorum. All right. Now I'm going to talk about our speaker. I'm going to do a quick introduction, and please, when I'm done, just help me give our speaker a virtual round of applause, if that makes sense. I really appreciate that. And trust me, this is not a lecture, kind of. We expect this to be engaging. So while the speaker is speaking, if you have insights, if you have questions, just use the chat. Then when it's time for question and answer, we'll have people to either unmute themselves or read from the questions that we have from the chat box. All right. to the introduction of our speaker today, Tolu Afonja by name. Tolu Afonja is a trainer, certified integrative life coach, speaker, and human resource professional with experience cutting across education, banking, consulting, and coaching. She facilitates the optimization of team productivity and performance with organizations through tailored retreat, training sessions, consulting, and coaching programs, fondly referred to as the nurturer. So you can call her the nurturer. She also guides individuals and couples to evolve and thrive as they gain clarity, overcome mindset limitations, discover their options, set and take intentional steps to optimize the best versions of themselves so they enjoy happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, and emotional well-being. He achieves this through providing transformative solutions as the principal consultant with Evolve to Thrive Limited. Just some of our former experiences. Formerly the Chief Operating Officer of OLCA Coaching Limited, she worked in various capacities with Kindness Head Consulting Limited and AB Microfinance Bank, Nigeria. Tolu has proven leadership experience in developing and aligning human resources strategies with improving organization performance. She has facilitated several interventions and projects for organizations, some of which are AB Microfinance Bank, First Bank of Nigeria, FCMB Bank of Kigali, Wole Olanipeku & Co., IHS, and many others, to mention but a few. There are quite a number here. So you can also look our website up, toluafonja.com, for more information. She has been honored with several awards. In 2024, she received the Leadership Award of the Year from the iconic brand Africa, TIBA, and the Coaching Excellence Award from the HR Talent Hub, NG. Currently the Vice President of the Life Coaches Association of Nigeria. Tolu is a member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Nigeria, Nigerian Institute for Training and Development, NITAD, and other professional bodies with a lot of certifications. Life coaching practitioner certification, emotional intelligence certified professional, performance consultant, master results, and there is a lot here that I cannot exhaust. So please join me as we welcome Mrs. Tolu Afonja, which I call Coach Tolu Afonja, to lead us on an inspiring session for the next 40 minutes. I believe this is going to transform our lives. For you to be here, it shows that you are better than your colleague out there or your friends out there. It's a life-changing steps you've taken. So thank you so much. And please pay attention as I hand over to Coach Tolu Afonja. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you so much, Toby. Hello, everyone. Good day, depending on what part of the world you're connected from. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to be having this conversation with you. You know, the interesting thing about this kind of conversation, we're focusing on purpose and career, and of course, an alignment between the two. Many people just think that purpose has to do with a single job or a title or perhaps a destination. But you see, purpose is not something you find once. It is something that you keep clarifying and you live out in seasons. I'd like us to take note of that. We live out our purpose in seasons. So I want to ask us a question. What should you be doing with your life? Or better still, what is trying to express itself through you in this season? Let's just start off with that opening reflection. What is trying to express itself through you in this season? What is trying to express itself through you in this season? But just before we really get into the gist of it all, a brief introduction. Yes, he said a few things about me, but I'm going to be sharing my slides in a bit so that we can also connect with the conversation. All right. Yes, we're looking at our game plan for 2026, building with meaning and growing with clarity. building with meaning, and growing with clarity. But just a few 90 some things about me. Yes, he has said I'm an integrative coach, aka also known as the nurturer, a consultant, a speaker, and a trainer with over 20 years of experience. I'm passionate about relationships. I'm passionate about emotional well-being. I've served clients globally and received several awards, as he mentioned. Currently the vice president of Elkan. But what do I love doing? I love stage dramas. I love watching stage dramas. And at some point in my life, I've also acted on a stage play as well. I love traveling. I love listening to music. And I love dancing. I love dancing, but that dance element, it's sort of private, right? In my own room, when nobody is looking at me and I can do as I like. But sometimes also in the public space when, what we Yorubas will say, baraje, baraje for God. Yes. So what are we looking at in this session? We're going to set the context, right, in terms of what is purpose and what is profession. We're going to look at aligning your purpose and profession. Then we'll look at a strategy with focus, your 2026 game plan. Then how do you sustain? So once you have had all this, how do you sustain yourself? I'll be looking at a framework called the Neurological Levels of Change, and then a closing reflection. I hope we'll be able to do all of this within the few minutes that I have to share with you. As Tobi already mentioned, if you have any questions, any comments, please put in the chat, and then we will come back to it we have a Q&A session afterwards. So let's look at purpose. What then is purpose? What then is purpose, right? A lot of us still think that we need to be busy, but a lot of people are busy. Professionals are busy, but not fulfilled. Professionals, entrepreneurs, employees, however you want to qualify yourself as, you're productive. Maybe you're not necessarily unproductive, but you're doing well, you're performing, okay, you're productive, yet there is a feeling of disconnection. You are successful, like Tobi mentioned, on paper, right? Everybody is looking at you, calling you celebrity that, or you're a top performer and everything, but yet you are unclear in your purpose. So this year, 2026, is a calling for alignment, not hustle. Because a lot of people, they are looking for that purpose. It's a buzzword. We're looking for purpose in different directions, but how is it that maybe purpose already resides in you? It's just that you have not been able to tap into what is already in you. And so this conversation is going to help us on that journey, to help us to tap into what is already in you. So let's look at the context of purpose. Purpose, and I'm going to be using the acronym P. Problems, in terms of, if you're still on that search for purpose, this will probably help you to, get clarity on what your purpose is and aligning it with what you're doing or what you feel you should be doing. So I'm using the acronym purpose and starting with P, problems you are burdened to solve. Purpose often begins with what moves you, the issues that stir compassion or frustration, or perhaps responsibility within you, the things you notice that others easily ignore, So for example, if you're such a person that is always going into spaces, you're in a space, and the first thing that jumps at you is, I can rearrange this space, okay? And the next thing is, in your head, you're already doing that rearrangement and all, right? That is something you can qualify as your purpose. Your purpose is to organize things or to make things look better. And then you now break it down into what are those things. You can now be more specific about the things that you are great or you would rather organize, because when you see them scattered, when you see them in a different way and all of that, you're like, oh no, I can make this better, and you can walk into that. Unique strengths and experiences, your skills, your personality, your training, and even your past struggles are not random. They shape how you are equipped to serve. They shape how you are equipped to serve. So please, let's take note of this, and maybe there will be some clarity for you at the end of this session. R, results you are called to produce, or you are drawn towards to produce. What outcomes give you deep satisfaction, not necessarily an applause, but fulfillment? What outcomes give you deep satisfaction? Maybe they clap for you, maybe they don't clap for you, but yet you get very, very deep satisfaction. P, people you are drawn to serve. People you are drawn to serve. Purpose is always connected to people. So who do you feel responsible for professionally, emotionally, or spiritually? Who are those that you feel responsible for professionally, emotionally, or spiritually? Answer to your right, get your notepad and answer that question. Oh, opportunities God keeps bringing your way. Opportunities that keep showing up, right? Patterns matter. Patterns matter. The doors that keep opening may be clues, not coincidences. So watch your patterns, identify the patterns, and that's how I even came about being the nurturer. God knows I ran away from that word. I ran away from, what people used to call me. But then again, it was as if I was running away from myself. And, even people that did not know me in my different areas of life, and I'm sorry, people that had been in touch with, right? But they did not know themselves, were calling me the same name. They were all calling me the same name, as if they had a meeting somewhere and decided that, oh, this is what we'll be calling Tolu Afonja. And I was wondering, how did that come to be? And then I did a personality assessment as well. And, it was defined and, imputed as the nurturer. And that was what I just knew it, that Tolu, you just have to go. They are calling you this already, you're already doing it while you're running away from it. And so I partnered and aligned with that. And so probably at the end of this conversation, you would now know who or what or how I nurture. S, sense of peace and fulfillment. When you act, when you take action, you have a sense of peace and fulfillment. You have a sense of peace and alignment. Even when in challenging situations, purpose carries an inner knowing, and this matters. An inner knowing that this is what you should be doing. And so you have that peace and fulfillment. E stands for evidence of impact. Your fruits, your outcomes, not noise, not anybody just making noise and trying to, it is evidence, tangible evidence about your impact, whatever that impact has been, or whatever the outcome is. It could be your personal growth or growth of other people. It could be through feedback. It could be through transformation, people coming back to tell you, how you have transformed their lives, or, giving you feedback that, oh, the way you trained was very good, or that the way you spoke was very good, and then you just get feedback and you're wondering. Sometimes we just look at ourselves and, just throw those things away. But I recall, and so I'm a faith-based person, I'm a Christian, and somehow these things always show up in my conversations, and the prophet, the woman who had nothing and yet to pay debt, and she said she was just waiting for her debtors to come, and everything would just go. And then the prophet asked her, "What do you have in your house? What do you have?" And even when she said she didn't have anything, okay, she had only oil. Okay, come, oh yeah, go and carry jars and go and fill all these things with. Even when she had the oil, she did not know what she would do with it. She, okay, I filled everything. So, okay, what? And then the prophet had to tell her, go and sell those things. And she did not know. So she did not even know what she carried, the things she had. And when she said there's no more jar, nothing, what did she have? She went to borrow the jars. She didn't have them. So she had social connection. There are some people that you go and ask for things and they will say, no, I can't give you because there's no trust. Even that on its own is something that people trust you, or you are trustworthy, you are credit worthy, you are somebody they hold in confidence, so they can come and speak to you, they can come and open up to you, and just by opening up, they feel at peace, at rest, because whatever conversation that ensues from there is a tangible impact that comes out of it. So, what letter stood out for you from all these definitions? Don't analyze, don't overanalyze, just notice it. Maybe, just maybe, that may be the area where clarity is already forming. Now, let's look at profession before we talk into the alignment of both of them. Let's look at profession. Your profession is the vehicle through which your purpose is expressed in this season. Recall I said that purpose is in seasons. And so your profession is the vehicle through which your purpose is expressed in this season. It's not just about what you do. It's not about what you earn. The naira, the kobo, the pounds, the dollars, and all of that. No. Or the title you carry, chief, Mrs., vice president, vice principal, strategy officer, head of whatever. It is not about titles. It is how you create value. It is who you are called to serve. It is how you steward your gifts in the marketplace. And you can also use the word workplace as the marketplace. So I use the word marketplace because I'm sure we'll probably have some entrepreneurs here, some founders and co-founders, like we have the founders and co-founders of Profession, Purpose and Profession. So you could be a professional, an employee. You could also be an entrepreneur, a business person, but how are you stewarding your gifts in the marketplace? Purpose answers why you exist. Profession answers how that purpose is expressed in the marketplace. And when the two are aligned, work becomes meaningful, not just manageable. Work becomes meaningful and not just manageable. So, how do we now ensure our profession is actually aligned with our purpose, not just paying bills or keeping us busy? Alignment is the difference in between them. And so it's not just about being productive, but it's about being fulfilled. And now I'm going to be introducing a simple framework using the acronym ALIGN. I'm going to be using the acronym ALIGN just to help us put these things together. A, awareness. Awareness of what? What season of life or work are you truly in? What season of life or work are you truly in? These are things to ponder on and, connect with yourself, and to thyself be true. It doesn't have to be so big, so huge. You're trying to give a big description and give yourself stories and all of that. It may just be very, very simple. And the season could just be, a season of transition, or I'm in a season of rest, or I'm in a season of building, or I'm in a season of, it can just be one word. It doesn't have to be so vague that even you're wondering, okay, what does this even really mean for me? All right. So what season of life or work are you truly in? Where are you right now? Alignment always starts with truth, not where you should be, not where others expect you to be, but where you truly are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and of course, professionally. Many people skip this step, and that's why we keep repeating it in cycles. So are you operating from clarity or from pressure? Are you operating from clarity or from pressure? Oh, leverage. What am I already doing that aligns with purpose? What am I already doing that aligns with purpose? What already aligns that I can build on? What already aligns that I can build on? Alignment doesn't mean starting from scratch. There are parts of your current work, your skills, or experiences that already support your purpose. The question is, are you leveraging them or overlooking them? Growth is often about refining, not reinventing. Growth is often about refining and not just reinventing. Intentionality. What needs to stop? What needs to start? Or what needs to shift? Alignment does not happen accidentally. It requires conscious decisions, meaning you've got to be intentional about it. So what must I stop doing? What must I start doing? What must I shift in how I show up? What you do consistently becomes your identity. What you do consistently becomes your identity. G, growth. What must I become to sustain the nenext level? What skills, systems, or support do I need? Every new level of purpose demands a new level of capacity. So you have your skills, your mindset, emotional regulation, boundaries, leadership. All of these things matter. Misalignment often feels like there is a struggle going on within us because growth is required, but we are ignoring it. You feel that, yes, you are King of Kings and Lord of Lords, you can do all things. And so when you're feeling like you know all things, and so there's sometimes in conversations, you want to have the last say. Sometimes you don't want to sit and listen, or you're the one that is always interfering when somebody, I knew that, I know it, you know all things. And so there's actually no room for growth. We talk about the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. I'm an avid learner, right? I love learning. I love listening. And with everything I'm listening to or watching, I am taking lessons from it. Even a movie. I use movies for coaching. I use my movies for training. I use movies. I recommended a movie to somebody yesterday. And I told her that she should give me a review of that movie. And from the review, people grow. Some people will just do things for fun. And you just say, yes, it's entertainment. It's good. There's entertainment there. That's part of life. You should have fun. You should, but then what are those things teaching you? What skills, what systems, what are the things you love? And from the things you love doing, even your hobbies, what growth process is going on with you? Your calling reveals direction. Growth prepares capacity for it. And non-negotiables. What must I protect at all costs? These are the non-negotiables. Alignment without boundaries leads to burnout. Your values, your well-being, rest, integrity, they are not optional. They are anchors. They are anchors. And what's an anchor? An anchor holds you to be firm. If your profession constantly violates your non-negotiables, misalignment will show up as exhaustion. You're just going round and round the cycle, round and round the rat race. I don't know how many of us have read Who Stole My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese? I love that book. Who Moved My Cheese? You're just going around, and yet you don't know what should stay, what should not stay. You don't know your values. You are not particular about your well-being. Everybody enters your time zone, your timeline anyhow. You don't know how to say no. Then how would you be able to align and have meaning for your life? If your profession constantly violates these non-negotiables, misalignment will show up as exhaustion. I mentioned that already. It will show up as resentment. You resent your workplace. You resent your supervisor. You resent your guy in the office, or you are resenting even going back home. Whatever it is, it shows up as resentment, and may also show up as confusion. You feel stuck. What is the way forward? What is the next level? You keep asking yourself questions, and yes, you're not getting help. Sometimes you have conversations with people, they probably help you, but then there are limitations, limiting beliefs that will still make you get stuck there. Oh, I knew this, and because you are knowing, what step are you taking? And so, even as we wrap up this alignment, okay, I'm going to be leaving us with this reflection just for this part of the conversation. What can I no longer sacrifice in the name of success, depending on what you have qualified success as for yourself? What can I no longer sacrifice in the name of success? Sometimes a lot of us are sacrificing our well-being. Taiwo Oladayo, please, thank you for muting. Okay. When awareness is honest, right? Taiwo Oladayo, please, can you mute yourself? Thank you for honoring us and everyone on the call. When awareness is honest, leverage is intentional, growth is embraced, and your non-negotiables are protected. Therein, your purpose and profession begin to move in the same direction. I love this picture. You can see purpose hitting profession, and then they're aligning in a focused, strategic direction. So what does alignment look like for you? Or what will it look like for you in the next 90 days? And I'm going to be using another, I love acronyms. I'm going to be using another acronym called FOCUS. FOCUS. Strategy with focus. And herein you start building your 2026 game plan. Sometimes some people can't see the whole year. Some people can't even see 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. But you see, there was something that Tobi shared at the beginning when he was sharing his screen. I think it was the title deck. And what caught me in that picture was a pair of glasses. It was a pair of glasses, maybe because I use one, right? And you see, for those of us that wear glasses, what does it do? It helps us to focus, to help us to see clearer, so that we can make intentional, wise, empowering decisions from sight based on what we see. So what are you focusing on? Let's start with the next 90 days. Typically 90 days, about 3 months, a quarter. What is your focus theme? Focus theme. It doesn't have to be so ambiguous. Clarity without direction leads to frustration. And so direction without structure would eventually lead to burnout, exhaustion, just going around, and you get stuck. But every season requires a focus. So your focus theme is maybe just a single word or a phrase, as the case may be, that defines what that quarter is about for you. For me, this quarter is building. It is about building. And what am I building? Maybe you will get to hear before the end of this conversation, but for now, we are building. All right. For me, this quarter, it is building. It could just be something else for you. It could be stability. It could be expansion. It could be healing. I've had conversations with people who are focused on healing. Yes, a lot of things have happened to them, but they are just focused on healing. In these first 3 months, about healing. Amidat, please kindly mute.
Sorry.
Amidat Olatunji, kindly mute.
Sorry,
Thank you.
please.
All right. It could be about building your skill. So what skill are you intentional about building in this season? Or basically realignment. But to be able to realign, what is it that you want to align? You have to know the context that applies for you. This thing becomes your filter for decisions, because you're like, is this in alignment with my focus theme for these 3 months, or is this not in alignment? So when they are calling you to come and chop life or live the soft life, right? If they are calling you in that moment to come and do some things that are not in alignment with your focus theme, you would know exactly. But to build your 2026 game plan, you need to already have a focus theme. A focus theme can also be a goal. What is that one thing that is a goal for you that you must achieve? One of the reasons why people are not able to achieve anything, or there's a misalignment, is because there are too many things on the table, and you want to attend to all those things at almost the same time. Therein lies your dose of overwhelm, panic, anxiety coming up. What is one priority goal? And that's the O in the focus. What is one priority goal that you are looking into for yourself? Alignment gets diluted when everything seems important. For the next 90 days, choose one main goal that is in alignment with your focus theme. Not 10 goals, not everything at once, but progress. Your progress in achieving that goal accelerates when priorities are clear. So when you have 10 things, 20 things, 1,000,001 things, and we deceive ourselves that we are multitasking, is a lie. You have just given yourself, you are just giving yourself the doorway. You have opened the doorway to ensure that you continue in the maze and not get to the end of the maze. C, critical habits. Goals don't fail. It's your habits that fail. Your habits in building, your habits in staying intentional, in focusing on your goal, which is in alignment with the theme. So critical habits are the small, repeatable, actionable steps that moves your goal forward. And it is those habits that will tell you whether you are progressing or not. It could just be as much as 30 minutes of focused work daily. It could be a weekly review and planning. Oh, where am I now today? Right? It could just be practicing a skill twice a week, whatever that skill is, practicing it twice a week, but you've got to be consistent with it. Keep it simple. Don't make it so ambiguous or vague even to you. Consistency beats intensity. So you think that you have to, how do I get to this big place? It starts with the small steps and being consistent with it. So what do you need to practice repeatedly to help you achieve your goal? When you practice consistently, it becomes automatic for you. It becomes automatic for you. Use of time and energy. Time is not your biggest limitation. Energy is. Everybody has given 24 hours, and it is a wonderful special gift from God. So how are we maximizing our time? What energy are we using to maximize our time? This step asks, what is draining you that you must reduce? Or what energizes me that I need to prioritize, or I need to protect? The things that give me energy, and I would rather do it in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, for some other person, what energizes you, what you love doing, for some other person, the person doesn't like it. I recall, when I used to do a lot of payroll. That was something I didn't like doing on the HR desk. I didn't like doing payroll because we used to use Excel sheets, and I did not like Excel sheets for anything. At that time, I could understand why people used to take substance to get high, so that they can settle in and do what they need to do. I understood that concept even before I became a coach or a therapist. So I didn't like it. And then there are people that in 2 minutes, they put in all the data, they can analyze the data and all, and I'll just be sitting like at this. I say, okay, I have to do, I would have to start, making the formulas, creating the formulas, check the formulas, when you're prorating salary and, compare, and all of that. Meanwhile, I had colleagues. It would take me 3 days. So I used to plan ahead. 5 days, I will psychologically prepare myself that, yes, payroll, because it's something I had to do. It was part of my task. It was something I had to do, but I didn't like doing it. But then, how did I now have to start doing it? I said, well, this thing is taking so much of my time, and it is draining me, and I don't like it. What must I do? And it is important. The purpose of my role at that time was to ensure that these people, part of it was that they are happy, they are fulfilled, they are satisfied. And part of it, for them to be happy, is that they get their salary on the dates that they're meant to get it, on a specific date, every 25th day of the month. And God help you if it is on a Sunday, then they have to get it on the 23rd, which is the Friday before, where I was working at the time. So I had to wake myself up and say to you, well, you need to go and upskill yourself in Excel so that this thing will not be draining your energy too much. And that was how I started upskilling myself. And yes, I'm a better person with Excel now. So you need to know what energizes you and what is draining you. And if what you have identified that is draining you now is something that is really, really necessary for you to achieve and get the ultimate fulfillment in what you are doing, then don't run away from it. Get going with it, embrace it, love it. Maybe someday you will be the one teaching it. Alignment requires honest subtraction and honest addition. What must I release to make space for what matters? And then S, support and systems. No one thrives alone. We are relational beings. That's the way we have been created. So support may look like a coach or a mentor. It may look like accountability systems. And it's not just like there's an accountability structure somewhere, that you yield yourself to such accountability system that may be there. It may look like learning platforms. What learning platform or community that will reinforce your growth? Purpose and Profession is the community of such, and that is why we are having this conversation today. And so, if you had to write your focus theme right now, what will it be? That word may just be the clarity that your being, your soul may be craving for. So what's that one word? And from that one word, you can begin to build with regards to your priority goal, the habits that will help you to stay consistent, the use of your time and energy in alignment with that, and of course, the support and system. Just in 90 days, at the end of 90 days, come back and check yourself. But don't wait till 90 days. You'll check yourself every week or every 2 weeks or every month, as the case may be. If one of the things is to submit to an accountability system, then do so. One of the things I help myself with accountability system is, what is the consequence of not doing the things that I need to do? You've given yourself valid reasons and excuses why you did not do what you were meant to do. But then, what is the consequence? What is the cost of not staying true to yourself? And finally, just before we wrap up, I'm going to be introducing one framework. It's called, and it's going to help you to sustain yourself in this season. It's called The Neurological Levels of Change by Robert Dilts. Change happens at different levels. So for some people, maybe I've spoken too fast today. Maybe, yes, I see you didn't understand half of the things I have said. And I believe that the recording or the replay, or you have access to watching this again, even afterwards. And if you need to come back and meet me, I will be available to help and support you. But then again, change happens at different levels. Let's start from the level of the environment. Where and when? You need to set up yourself to win. And your environment is very, very important and critical for that. Does your environment support your 90-day focus? Your environment means not just the physical space. It could be your schedule. It could be digital habits. It could be your mental well-being. It could be your spirituality, your faith. I recall working with an executive some years ago, and she was like, oh, what should I be doing? Blah, blah, I feel so overwhelmed. Each time I come into work, the whole space, everybody is dragging me left, right, and everything and all. And then I asked her to send me a picture of her office. The office, the space. Are you the only one in your office? Yes, she sent me the picture of the office, and the office itself was in a state. It reflected the state of her mind. It reflected the state of what was going on with her. And I gave her an assignment. I said, rearrange your office. What would you change if you were to rearrange your office? And she said, And she got to work, because it was serious work, that she called an interior decorator to come and help her. Just a frame here, a flower pot there. She moved to the state of her table and all of that. And that just helped her to settle back in, to be productive at work. The frustration she had, she stopped carrying out frustration on her team members. This was an executive director, just by rearranging her space and making it more, welcoming for her as an individual. By the way, that's one of the things I do. When I'm getting fidgety and all of that, one of the things I do is I rearrange my space. That rearrangement is a reset. It is a reset. So what do you need to rearrange to reset yourself, to be more productive, to be focused for the next 90 days within your environment? The second level is behavior. What you say and do. What you say and do. Performance, actions, reactions. How do you show up? Behavior is what others see. It's not what you think. It's what others have defined yourself. They will tell you you're a late comer. You're always coming to work late. No. You're the one defending yourself. But meanwhile, you have projected your behavior to others. Your critical habits from the focus plan must live here. Consistency at this level requires simplicity. So what behaviors do you need to stop or start doing to align with your focus for the next 90 days. You don't need massive action. You just need repeatable action. And so what is an empowering behavior that you need to repeat consistently to help you? And what is that behavior that you must do away with that will not help you? Capabilities. How? Your knowledge, your skills, and competencies, right? Building capacity for the goal. Building capacity to ensure that that focus theme is fulfilled. Many people expect new results without new skills. What skills, emotional intelligence, or systems do you need to strengthen for yourself? Growth here prevents self-sabotage. It prevents you from self-sabotaging yourself. Capacity determines your sustainability as you align your purpose and your profession and making them one. 4, beliefs and values, your why. Why are you doing the things you're doing? What you hold true to yourself, what is right or wrong, depending on how you define them. This is where most plans collapse. Your beliefs and your values. I spoke about limiting beliefs. I am not consistent. I always start and stop. I am not good at this. I am not, and we keep giving ourselves seemingly valid excuses. Your inner me has become your enemy. So when your beliefs change, behavior follows. When your beliefs change, behavior will follow. What are your values? What are the things you hold in high esteem? It's not about what I tell people, that your values is not what you say they are. It is what people have connected with you. So you could ask me, what are my values? And I'll say, oh, I value relationships. Oh, I value my faith. I value integrity. It's one of my values. But then when people see me, will they say, Tolu is a person of integrity? Oh, well, if they are hearing Tolu as I'm saying that she values integrity, will they be just smirking their face and just, winking at each other that, look at her, she says she values it. Is she not the one that, and they keep giving, and they start your whole story and begin to analyze you and break you down. So it's not about what you say it is what you have projected. What are your values? And how are those values in alignment with your goals and your focus theme? Let's look at identity. Who am I? How do you think of yourself? Your identity is not, I'm an engineer, or I'm an accountant, or I'm a co-founder. Oh no. If you are stripped of all those things, I'm a mother of 10. Oh, I'm a PhD holder. There's some people that if you don't put their title in front of their names, it is wahala for you. I'm Professor Tolu Afonja, and then they're reading my bio, my profile, and they did not say Professor Tolu Afonja is also and so. And then afterwards, I go and meet the person and say, "Oh no, that was an insult. Why didn't you read Prof? Everybody calls me Professor Tolu Afonja." What is it? Calm down. Who do you think of yourself? Who are you? If you are stripped of all those titles around you and you connect with your core and your essence, who are you? Who are you? Are you a disciplined person, or do you act in alignment with who you truly believe that you are? And then 6, purpose, bringing it all together. What is new? All of these things is with a view of what your purpose is. So when you're looking at environment, at the top of it is your purpose. You're looking at behavior, at the top of it is your purpose. You're looking at your capabilities, at the top of it is your purpose. You're looking at your beliefs and values, at the top is your purpose. You're looking at your identity with your purpose in view. So this relates to your bigger picture in life, right? What benefits? Who benefits when you stay aligned? Who is impacted when you show up fully, especially when you are aligned with your profession, when you see purpose in the things that you are doing? And so as we conclude, let's conclude with this. Your life and work, they are not random. Maybe, yes, it was random, as in someone just say, oh, there's one job there, go for the interview and you go and do it, and then you start doing it and you start rising along the career levels. Maybe. But they are not random. One of the things I said was patterns. Check the patterns. Clarity of purpose in your profession is possible. And I hope that you have been able to get some form of clarity in this conversation. An alignment of purpose with your profession is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And transformation happens when insight is followed by structure, reflection, and of course, with the necessary support. Thank you very much. At this note, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you have questions, bring them on. Thank you.
Let's give Madam Tolu a beautiful round of applause. Let's just keep clapping for her. That was electric. That was impactful. That was powerful. That was awesome. That was mind-blowing. And without overemphasizing it, or without trying to also pull your legs, I was really, really blessed. You gave us some snippet when we were having a dry run. And from when you were talking, I knew there was something more, and I think I got it here. So I don't know if we have questions. Okay, I think there are questions here. So what I would do is I will read the questions. Yeah, if we still have time, I can go ahead and ask my own question, because I think the audience questions are very important. And please, if you've enjoyed this, just appreciate our speaker. Thank you. Yeah, the first question is yeah, I don't know if I should call the person's name, but it's obvious. The name is also showing, but I'll just read the question. If Emmanuel is listening, Emmanuel, this is your question. He said, what would you counsel me to do when my environment isn't encouraging to achieve these plans? What would you recommend that I do if my environment, because you spoke about environment, would not encourage me to achieve my plans?
All right. Your environment, right? Your environment may not change. It will not change. The responsibility is up to you. So what do you need to change with regards to that environment? You need to identify what is the disruption in your environment that you think that, I can't do anything about this. But the decision is up to you, whatever it is. So I don't know what you mean by environment, because I've already spoken about environment in different contexts, right? But then again, what is it in your environment? Sometimes it could be a shift with the way you're looking at things in the environment, your perspective to it. Sometimes it could also be the fact that it is not in alignment with your values, with your value system. Sometimes it could also be that there is some form of abuse going on in the environment. So whatever it is that is going on with your environment, what to do depends on how it is affecting you, right? For some others, you may just need to exit the environment, especially if it's a physical environment. It may just be to exit the environment, or maybe separate from that environment, maybe for a given period of time. Okay, I hope that helps, Emmanuel, right?
Thank you so much. I'll rush down to the next question because I'm also considering our time. He said, "Hi, I have been finding it very hard to build my writing skills. Basically, I can come up with a title, but the content has always been an issue for me." Mercy Sunday, I don't know if that is a question or a statement. Is that a question? Okay, I think we can frame it. I can frame it. So Mercy is trying to say that she has writing skills, but coming up with content is difficult, but she can come up with that too. What would you recommend that she do?
So there's when we talk about writing skills, there are in two ways, right? Writing skills could also mean that you're very good at writing, putting sentences together grammatically and everything. And then there is also the content creation that comes with writing. Okay, so if you are looking at it with based on the question, the content, you should first have a focus theme. What is the theme of what you're writing about? Okay, what research will help you to bring content together? There's so many places that you can get content from, depending on what the theme is, what the goal is, and how are you trying to get the content. Sometimes people also have like blocks, mental blocks while writing. And so you also need to identify what is blocking me from, mentally or emotionally, or is affecting me from, creating and putting content together. It could be something else, maybe something going on with you emotionally. It could be something else altogether that once you address, then your energy for writing and everything will just start flowing. Okay, so you need to identify what is going on with you that is causing that block from bringing out content. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. There's a question about real estate. I think that is more of a sales strategy question rather than, within the context of purpose and profession. So I'll move to Gospel's question. She said, I'm at the peak of my career in nursing, but I don't feel fulfilled at my current place of work. But I'm being told to stay and gather experience. It's a different thing altogether for me. Please, Ma, what can I do?
You see, what is your purpose in going into nursing in the first place, right? One of the things I said is that purpose is in seasons, and you need to identify it in that season of your life. What is your why going into nursing beyond the things that are going on around you? Okay, so find purpose in why you are in nursing in the first place, and how can you extend it? Now, did you enter nursing because it was the trend? Everybody's going abroad and they can enter, for some, it was that trend. That is the thing that is going on now. And one of the things that happens to people when you follow the trend, it will still come back to you. Frustration will set in. But if you have been able to identify why you are in nursing, then if you connect back to your why, sometimes even your environment, no matter how it is, it will help as you build yourself for a better environment. Okay, so I hope that helps you with the nurse. Or would you, another thing would be, if you were in another hospital or in another environment now, practicing nursing, would that be better? So what is going to be the game changer for you? And then how can you work yourself in ensuring that that game changer happens for you? So I hope that helps with that question.
All right, I think we have maybe I will take one more questions or two more questions, and if you can, because I also want you to talk about your programs and courses, and also a brief introduction of how we can also create a community with people who have joined the call today. So this is from Amidat. So thank you for this insightful session, Ma. My question is, what could result to anxiety even while one is discovering one's purpose already? What could result to anxiety?
So anxiety may come out because there's no alignment. What you're doing and your purpose, what you have identified your purpose. So the first thing, one of the things I said during the conversation is that in your current season, what have you discovered for yourself? I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the conversation when we spoke about purpose and everything, but if not, please go back and listen to this again and again, and hopefully you get some clarity. But in this current season, what is it for you? So I'll give an example. I once upon had a friend, I'm still my friend, who was working in a particular place and had access to a lot of confidential information and all. But then there was some transaction that was perceived to be fraudulent. And because he was the one that had access to that, immediately, and he had been there, he had worked there for close to 15 years. And so immediately was reported to the security agencies, he was arrested, he was put in, and it was so bad. And when he came out of it, the first thing was after everything I had done, because eventually they found out that he was not, he was not the culprit in any way. But then it got to him that, so they don't trust me. So this is it and all. And immediately he wanted to tender his resignation and leave. But he had a conversation with me. And one of the things I asked him was, is this the time for you to leave? Is this a season? Will you have fulfillment and peace, or are you just angry? Is this coming out of the anger of what's going on with you? Is there still something that you need to achieve here before you eventually leave? And that was what broke the camel's back for him. Today, he's still there. He's still in that organization because he's connected to what he needs to, and because he had connected with what he needed to be doing in there. So if they like, they should bring their passports, everything, the ultimate purpose, which you can also connect with your why, will keep you going, even in the middle of all of that. So at that time, there was anxiety, there was overwhelm, there was panic, but reconnecting back to your purpose and your why will help you to move on. Where there is a disconnect, then there'll be anxiety. Sometimes anxiety could also be from other things that are going on around you. So there's distraction and you're not able to consolidate to be able to stay focused. So identify what those distractions may be. Let them go if they are not in alignment so that you can stay aligned and enjoy harmony within yourself. All right.
All right. Lastly, I'll take Selina's question and Judith's question together so that you can respond to it, because I really want us to wrap up. It's 4 p.m. It's 5 p.m. Apologies, it's 5 p.m. already. It's walking back in my head. Selina said, I enjoy a particular skill set I have. It's not paying as much yet, and this is the reason I like this question, but I have a couple of opportunities that can help me upgrade. But some people around me recommend that I get a corporate job as well because it is sustainable and because I am young. Please, can you share your opinion? That's Selina. Judy's question is, hello, Ma. I am 22 years old, soon to be a graduate with no skills outside from sign language interpretation. I am always puzzled with the question of how I can use this skill to align with God's plan and purpose for my life. Please, what guideline can you provide for me so that I don't fall out and lose myself in the noise? So we are done with the questions now. I don't know if you get those two questions independently.
Okay, let me start with the first question. And that is about, sorry, you said Selina?
Yes, Selina.
Okay, right. And that's about having a couple of opportunities to help upgrade and everything. See, Selina, your season right now, what is most important for you in your season right now? Okay, what is most important for you in your season? You have identified purpose to be able to work fully and optimally in that which you have identified. What do you need to do now? So getting a corporate job and all of that, is that going to be in alignment with what you have identified as your purpose? You said that you have a couple of opportunities that can help you upgrade, but some people, okay, you're talking about a skill set. And then you have a corporate job. So is the corporate job not in alignment with the skill set that you have? That's a question. That the corporate job is not in alignment with the skill set that you already have. And you know, nothing is wasted. So based on what you are doing and having experience with your corporate job, it may be good for you now. It's about comes back to you. Some people don't even have corporate work experience and they've done so well with their lives, right? But some people have corporate experience and from there were able to move into doing their own thing. Some people are doing a blend of both. So what is it that you really, really want? Is the experience going to help you in building your skill set, or is it going to even help you expand your skill set? So before I became a coach, I didn't know that I was going to be a coach. But then I had the skill set as little as listening. People come and sit with me and just come and download their old trouble. I'll be wondering, why are you talking to me? You know, but then I didn't know that I had the skill of listening. And that's a skill set. So when I eventually went full-blown into coaching, that's one of my power skills. Nothing is wasted. So if the corporate job is needed for you now, it's not just about one particular skill. Most of the time, our corporate environment or the jobs gives us a lot of skills. But sometimes we think we're just repeating something over and over again. But there are things that are actually helping and building you and may even help you to expand what you're doing. I've done any work before in a corporate setting. But when I started developing other areas of, I saw how it was useful for me. When I say any work, when I say any work, I have written articles for somebody. I have done, I've done social media for somebody in that same. I've done all manner of things. But then again, right? How did it help me to be better at what I'm doing today? Everything is an infusion and nothing is wasted. So it depends on why the corporate job. Is it a survival mode for you? If it is a survival mode for you, then yes, you do need to survive. But then if those other opportunities are also going to help you with regards to, meeting your basic needs of life, it's up to you. So I'm not going to give advice, leave the corporate job or do this. It still comes back to what it is that you really, really want. All right. And then the second question, 22-year-old graduate, no skills aside from sign language interpreting, puzzled with the question of how I can use this skill to align with God's plan and purpose for me. Right. Basic example, this is just me. I watched Wolfbeck, and every time I was watching Wolfbeck, there was somebody using her sign language, sign interpreting skills and all, right? And I also know that in a lot of international conferences and things like that, right? Because in our environment today, there is so much about integration, about, we say involving the people that are disabled. And so part of that sign language, what is it? It's actually for people that cannot, you're blessing or you're helping, empowering to communicate with the people that cannot hear or talk, right? So what is purpose? What is God's plan and purpose for you? Is it in alignment with that which you have heard, which you're already doing, or is there something else that you have identified for yourself?
Okay. Right.
Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question. Judith?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. You hear from our speaker soon in terms of how you can connect with our, but before then, you can join Purpose and Profession community. We have a community on Substack. You can follow us across all social media platforms also, so that you can get updates from us. We have a lot of materials that are coming up that will be uploaded on our site. We're also probably going to be launching books at some point, later into the year. So there's a lot we've, cooked for everyone, and we want you to be blessed with them. And I will hand over to our speakers now. I think our speaker also has some interesting courses you can take and how you can connect with her. Ma, in 2 minutes, can you just let people know how they can connect with you, register for some of your courses, and probably be a part of your network?
Okay, so I'm just going to share the link on the screen. That is a course that is coming up soon, so you may just want to go there and share and join the wait list. It is called the Life Redesigned for Wholeness. Life Redesigned for Wholeness, and a knack for emotions, and for you to enjoy harmony and wholeness in your life. And most of the time, people, do not enjoy this because you are pulled on all fronts, different directions, and the ability to focus is an issue. And so the Life Redesigned for Wholeness is a program that helps you to, it's therapeutic one. That's it. It's a self-paced online course, right? And it helps you to connect with yourself, with your purpose. It helps you to structure the 12 critical areas of life. I call them 12 critical areas of life. What is it that you want in every area of your life, and how can you harmonize this to enjoy that? Sometimes it's just one thing that you need to do, and every other thing will begin to take shape, will begin to follow. So what does it do for you? It helps you to identify and get clarity as you identify on the things and connect with the things that you need to be doing. It helps you to set your values in alignment with your theme, your goals. Once your values are not in alignment, then you are setting up yourself for sabotage. It helps you to make wise, intentional life decisions. It helps you to create a personalized wholeness life blueprint for your growth and reviewing option as you like it. So you can connect. It's my website, on my website, toluafonja.com, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well, Tolu Afonja, Instagram, Tolu Afonja. You can just send me an email as well to hello@toluafonja.com. Thank you. Thank you very much. So
thank you so much, Matt.
You can
Thank you so much.
redesign.
John,
Yeah.
are you on the call? I just want people to hear your voice.
Mhm.
John, are you on the call? Just to wrap up, if there's anything you need to say in 1 minute, quickly, and you can enable your camera also.
Oh,
I want you
wow.
guys to see John's beautiful face.
Wow. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wow. Okay, you put me on the spot. I may not be able to
No
um
worries.
put on my camera, but you can just look at my profile picture and smile with me. And I just want to say thank you so much to our speaker, our moderator, and on behalf of the entire team of Purpose and Profession, thank you for joining us today. Trust me, there's a whole lot that was unpacked in today's session, and I advise that you please watch the session again. So we are a vibrant community of young professionals who are also fulfilling purpose. And like our speaker said, she is walking the purpose and profession talk, right? I am doing same. For those that don't know, I'm a gospel music artist, and at the same time, I'm leading a brand and corporate communication career in the corporate world. So to the people that were asking, how do I merge both? And like our speaker said, you have to just find your why. I am living two distinct life and it's merging. Same thing as Tobi, same thing as our other co-founder Promise. So it's possible, it's doable. And please stay in touch with us. Follow the link that the speaker posted for her upcoming program. Join our Substack community and let's all be a part of this movement to help us all align with our faith and with our career progression. Thank you so much. You'll be hearing more from us and we'll stay in touch. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Madam Tolu. God bless you.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
Bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.